you want to rank for a particular keyword called gold rate, right? Every other website is actually talking about what is the present gold rate in Bangalore, right? You can take one step forward and say that, hey, today's gold rate is 60,000. It is 10% more than the last year. And it is 50% more than the 5 years back, right? That is step one. That's the L1 I call it. Now go to L2, which is one level deeper. Say them that, hey, today if you buy the gold, you will buy it at 60,000. But in the December month, it's a off season. That time you usually get it 10% discount than what it is there in the September, October month. So you need to tell to the user saying that, hey, today's gold rate is this. But if you can wait for 2 more months, you can see a probable 10% less cost, right? So that's the insight that the user is looking for. He's not looking what exactly is the gold rate today, right? Because if you are trying to purchase a gold, you want to purchase it at the lowest cost. That's your objective. And if you do not solve that, then you not have USP.
Marketing has always been the powerhouse of business, steering companies towards success by bringing in a stream of customers. But in today's digital era, the focus has completely shifted towards digital means. Now, the customers are driven towards product with the help of digital marketing efforts. And the domain of digital marketing that addresses this is performance marketing. Today, we are going to address what exactly performance marketing is and how you can become a performance marketer. And for that purpose, in this episode of Intellipaat podcast, we have called over Mr. Avinash, Head of Performance Marketing at Dezerv. He has previously worked with e-commerce giant Flipkart and brings over 15 years of experience on the table. Throughout this episode, he will delve into the nuances of performance and influencer marketing. Shedding light on the latest trends, he will also talk about how you can make a successful career in the domain of performance marketing. I believe this conversation is definitely going to help you better understand performance marketing and how attractive career choice it is. So make sure you stay tuned until the end of this podcast and hit that subscribe button to our Intellipaat YouTube channel to come across more such career-oriented updates from our end. Hello everyone, welcome to yet another podcast from Intellipaat. Today we have with us Mr. Avinash Bikumalla, who's been in the digital marketing industry for the last decade, and he's the head of performance marketing at Dezerv. So hello sir, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So we will begin this conversation very gently from where you have started, how you got into this space, and from the last 13 years or so when you started, the journey has drastically changed. The domain has been very, very drastic. The change has been very drastic. So how would you define this entire journey?
Well, when I started my performance marketing journey, actually it started 15 years back when I was doing my BTech. In the third year, I was a freelancer content writer, and then that's where I started learning SEO, right? So these days, it's very easy to rank any of your website in SEO. You just stuff your website with the keywords and have a exact domain keywords, and then you'll always rank. That's how the Google was. But today it's quite different. You have more than 200 factors which we'll consider before ranking your website or anything, right?
So for our learners, when you say rank a website, what does it actually mean?
Right. So let's consider Google as a primary SEO search engine, because 98% of the share is with the Google, right? So when you try to search for any keyword that you want to understand, then you search it in the Google only. Or it has actually become a verb. People say Google it, don't even search it, right? That's how it has evolved, right? So when you search something over there, Google lists a lot of websites over there. And if your website is ranking the top 3 positions, there's a good chance that you'll get visits to your website. And that can be converted into revenue, or that can be converted into leads, etc. Right. So being in the top 3 positions is what I call as ranking on search engines or Google.
So not on the first page, on the top 3 is what you call a best.
Right. Ideally, you should aim for the top 3 because that's where the CTRs are there. You can have top 10 as one of your secondary metrics. I mean, if you want to really say that you're doing great, you should see how many you're ranking in the top 3 positions.
All right. So we'll get to the metrics also. But before that, I want you to discuss, when we talk about digital marketing, it's a very vast space. There are a lot of verticals that come into the digital marketing. So how would you define it?
Right. So if you take a step back, right, there's marketing at the top, which has traditional marketing or offline marketing, and there is a digital marketing. And within the digital marketing, there are two streams, I will call it. One is performance marketing, and the second is brand marketing.
Yes.
So brand marketing is something which happens in the traditional marketing and also in the digital. So I don't want to touch in that, but I'll go a little deeper into the performance marketing.
Sure.
So performance marketing, nothing but having a pure ROI on your spends, right? So the reason performance marketing became very successful is in the traditional marketing, you are not able to measure the success or the failure of your campaigns pinpointedly. You never know whether it happened because of luck or because of your campaign efforts or something, right? You cannot pinpointedly tell that. But in performance marketing, you can do it pinpointedly. You can give a ROI, return on the investment, right?
Yes.
You can tell it to a decimals also. So that's the reason performance marketing became very big in the industry, and also a lot of people are moving into that. Now, if you ask me how it evolved from 15 years back, see, 15 years back, there were no social media platforms. Of course, there was Facebook, not...
I think Facebook evolved around 2005.
In India, it became more famous from 2009, because I know in my BTech, I used Orkut.
School, yes.
So that time I used to use Orkut. Facebook was coming very newly, in India at least. I mean, it was there in US. So there was no social media marketing at all, right?
So before that, how did this... performance marketing, like there was nothing about...
There's nothing much in performance marketing. It's mostly about SEO or the content marketing. Like those times, the other thing is people used to have email marketing or the feeds. Like you used to get a feed from multiple blogs to your email and you can read those feeds. So that was very, very, immature or whatever, in a nascent stage of the digital marketing.
So do you think when performance marketing came into the picture, like a big giant, so traditional marketing took a hit?
Yes, it took a hit, but not immediately. It took some time to take a hit. Today, I can tell you that first, digital marketing is valued more than traditional marketing. Sorry, I'll give an simple example. In India, cricket is the most viewed sport, right? And BCCI has minted so much of money in the last auction, right? They have sold digital rights for 35 CR per match, and the offline was sold for 32 CR, which is like digital is paying more 10% more than offline channels. Yes. Right? So I can say today's time, digital marketing is overtaking the traditional marketing.
I think we're in the good business then.
Yeah.
So since we know that performance marketing, brand marketing, all these are different things. So what are the verticals that come specifically in performance marketing?
Sure. I can tell you performance marketing can be broadly divided into two segments. One is organic marketing, other is non-organic marketing or paid marketing, you can call it, however you'd like to call it.
Can you also within
the paid marketing, let's take it. You have SEM, that is called search engine marketing, where you pay money to Google to show your ads in the search results, right? And second is social media marketing, where you pay money to Meta, Facebook, or whatever you want to call it, to show your ads over there, right?
Alright, so we have ads on search engines basically.
On search engines, social media
and social media. It could be Instagram as well?
Yeah, it could be Instagram also. The social media channel on that. Even in the TikTok is also one of them.
Alright, so how does this work? Like we create an ad.
Right. So you create an ad, and so first of all, you need to understand what is the purpose of your creating an ad, right? I mean, what is the goal? Do you want to get more visitors? Do you want to get more revenue? Or do you want to generate some leads so that your salespeople can talk to them and convert them into customers offline, right? So goal is the first thing that
eventually it's a business goal.
It's a business goal, definitely. That's the reason performance marketing became famous, right?
Yes.
The ROI is what we want to see.
Exactly.
Right? So first we need to know what is the goal. I mean, why are we doing it? Second, we need to understand what is the target audience, right? Do you want to reach out to below 21 years, or do you want to reach out to 21 to 31 years of age? Or
how do we target these people? Let's say if my target audience is 30 to 35 years of age.
Okay.
Do I have metrics in...
Right. I'll give you examples so that it's easy to understand. Let's assume you're into food industry, where you're like Swiggy or Zomato, right? I can tell you most of the orders are done by bachelors, right? And very few could be done from the families also, right? Now these bachelors means they're under 30s usually, right? Now you can target on Facebook and Google saying that the target audience age should be in between 21 to 31 years. So these platforms are matured enough to help you in targeting at a precise age level also, right? Now, if at all you are into retirement planning, which is like you will do it after 30, 35 years of age because you will have some amount of money and you wanted to think of your future. Yes. That could be your kids' education, whatever it is, right? So that time you can actually target the users who are working in particular companies or who are in the X percentage of their income. Example, on Google,
We can have that sort of metrics as well.
yeah, you can target at that level.
Oh.
On Google, in fact, you can target saying that you want to reach out to top 10% income of India users, and you will be able to do that. So the platforms are very mature, and in fact, they have too many options and attributes that you can use it. It's just that you need to have the precise understanding who is your target audience and target to those people with the right creatives, I will call it. Creatives or ads, whatever you want to call it, with the right, which will have the right messaging, etc. So having these three things will help you in running a successful performance marketing campaign.
I think the platforms are giving us enough tools. It's just that we need to understand how it works.
Exactly, and that's where digital marketers are having their jobs, and they are helping us.
All right. So when we let's also talk about search engine optimization. I think it's a very big buzz around this part, and since the inception of generative AI,
right,
I think there's been a lot going on in this domain also.
Correct.
So let's talk about what exactly it is and how it is evolving.
So do you want to understand SEO or generative SEO?
Both, actually, yes. How it is also transforming, like, people, how they are doing their upskilling, or how they would understand the new algorithms that are coming forward.
Sure. So I'll tell you actually why SEO is famous,
Yes.
right? So the reason is very simple. If Google trusts, everyone trusts.
Yes.
That's a funda that I believe in.
Yeah, because anytime we want
You
to know
search,
something,
you only
it's
Google it. You will not think of anything, right? You can't ask your friends out all the time, right? So that's the reason if you're able to rank at the top in the search engine like Google, then it's like you're sorted. Yes. You're known for everyone in this world. You need not to do any other marketing, right? So it's like you don't need to spend money so that you are shown to the target users of yours, right? Okay. So that's one reason why it became very famous.
This is the organic part.
This is the organic part, again, not on the paid card.
Yes.
Right? Now, the second reason why people are using, why I like specifically Google is it has democratized. For example, even if you're a McDonald's chain or if you're a local burger chain, Google treats you same. Yes. If your restaurant is present nearby, they'll show it to any user who's searching, right? So that's one of the biggest opportunity. I mean, it has created a lot of opportunity for the small scale users also, or businesses also, right? So that's one reason why I like Google SEO specifically. Right. Now, coming to the question, like, SEO is nothing but making your website ranking in the top position so that users will find it useful and come to your websites and do an action so that the revenue of your company increases. Right. Okay. Now, why is this such a buzzword in the last 1 year is till today, most of the users get information when they come to the website and read something. But generative AI, or for example, it's actually OpenAI, which has started with the ChatGPT product. It is giving answers without going to other websites, right?
Oh, yes.
It's like
one-stop shop.
It's a one-stop shop. And you need not to go to multiple websites to read and understand it. It is reading on behalf of you and summarizing and giving an answer. That's a huge shift. It's a fundamental shift in how the things are going to change. Right. Yes. The first shift happened when we moved from Web 1.0 to Web 2.0.
Yes.
And I think this is between 2.0 and 3.0 is what I would call it.
3.0 is more centralized.
Centralized, meta, etc.
Decentralized, I'm sorry.
Decentralized.
Yes. So when we talk about SEO, there are also two verticals. There's on page, off page.
Right.
So what is the difference there?
So SEO has on page, they call it on page SEO or off page SEO, right? So on-page SEO is nothing but making changes on your own website, yes, on which you have a control, so that Google understands your website in a better fashion.
And these metrics could be?
These could be adding proper title, descriptions, having good images on your website, having proper internal linkings, right? Having proper sitemaps, having proper HTML tags, header tags, etc.
So I used to write a few blogs here and there. So I heard about SEO Yoast.
Okay.
All those things. So these metrics were there. But there are other things also, right? Like domain authority, all those page loading speed.
Right.
Are these really relevant in this day and age also?
Yes, they are very much relevant. I would say domain authority may not be highly relevant as it used to be 5 years back or 10 years back when there was page rank instead of the domain authority. It got evolved, but still it's one of the crucial factors in ranking your website, right? Coming to your question, what is this Yoast? The Yoast showing you multiple other things like technical SEO, page speed, etc. They're also very important. And I think that's one of the reasons why SEOs are in a lot of demand today's world, because previously SEO was very simple. As I told you in the beginning, you just stuff your website with the keyword that users are searching and you will be able to rank. But today it's not possible. You need to do multiple other things. You need to do on-page SEO, which is making your website better and easy for the users to understand. Create backlinks to your website. And that is the part of off-page SEO work. And then we also need to take care of technical SEO, which tells how fast is your website loading, and is it actually showing the right content for all the users at all the right people, right? And it will also tell you about, are we having a mobile friendly version, etc., etc. So there are a lot of aspects that a SEO person has to take care in today's world if you want to rank. It's not an easy job, I would say, but superficially it looks very simple and easy.
I mean, definitely, it's a very rigorous job. You have to know a lot of metrics where you're putting your head, and basically there's keyword research, a lot of things that has to come together for a campaign to work successfully. But then again, coming back to SEM, search engine marketing. So when we boil down to campaigns, let's say we have created ads and everything. So what are the major, best practices that anybody of your stature would follow?
I'll tell you a very simple thing. Okay. Today's world, I think there was some statistics way saying that an Indian consumer is consuming at least 2.5 hours of his time on mobile screen.
Yes.
Right. It means he's consuming a lot of content, I would call it. Right.
Sure.
Now, when you're running SEM, which is more like ads, the only suggestion I would give to anyone is, right, don't make your ad saying that it's an ad. It should not show off on the face that it's an ad. It should be some quirky content or some useful content, so that the user who is reading the content or seeing the ad doesn't feel that, okay, he's forcefully showing something, right? It should sync with what the user is reading, which means you need to churn a story, or you need to create a story around that. You cannot directly say that, hey, I'm having a sale, come and purchase at my place. That's not going to work. Right. Hey, these are my products and these are the reasons why you need to buy. It's not about the pricing at all the time. These are the comfort. There could be quick shop delivery, etc., etc.
So, sir, we have seen the transition from a long format content that we see on YouTube, for example, or Facebook. The transition has happened towards platforms like Instagram. Earlier, we had TikTok also. The short format content was in the buzz. People were, scrolling through reels all day long.
Correct.
So, has that also affected the marketing campaigns in any?
Right. Yeah. So it has changed definitely, right? Previously, we used to have long form of ads, which is like 1 minute ads and 30-second ads, right? After a while, we started putting it only 15-second ads because the viewing time of the users was reduced. The span of the viewing time has reduced. After a while, when the TikTok came, the 6-second videos also became very famous.
Yes.
And it has actually continued. Even if the TikTok got banned in India, people on Instagram and on YouTube make shorts and reels, and people are consuming that. So as a marketer, what I started doing is I'm creating a long form of content, and also I'm making a lot of short form of content, and also I'm making portrait campaigns or ads also from the same creatives that I'm making.
All right. So similar campaign, just that you're putting portrait form
and also making shorts so that users look at it.
All right. And when we talk about performance marketing, does this social media collaboration, working with the influencers, does that also come?
Yeah, it also is part of performance marketing, because of course, again, it comes into brand marketing also, based on the objective that you want to do, right? Yes. So if you want to only create awareness, right, that comes as part of brand marketing. But if you want to pay on the revenue that you're generating, that comes under performance marketing. Because in performance marketing, it's all about ROI. How much sales are they getting and how much amount of commission you are trying to pay them, right?
So is that a trend in the industry? Like, is it only being used for brand marketing, or performance marketing also comes into the picture?
Again, it depends on the company and the objective. Right. For example, I'll tell you, at Flipkart, when we are used to run campaigns, right, there are few influencers to whom we used to pay money because we want them to show our products. And they will not be agreeing for the performance campaign, right? So you can't do anything over there. But there are few micro influencers or the small scale influencers who are ready to work on the pay per sale kind of a thing.
Oh, that is also a trend.
Yeah.
That's nice to know. Also, one more thing, since you mentioned Flipkart, so there are product companies and there are service companies.
Right.
So how does the campaigns differ in these two different spaces?
Cool. The fundamental difference between a product and service is very simple, right? A product is something where you have touch and feel, where you also experience tangible item, right? But a service is not tangible. It's like abstract on your understanding, and you need to get it right.
Yes.
So what happens is, as a marketer, when I want to promote a product, I actually focus on the aesthetics, also focus on how it's looking, color, shape, etc., etc. Right? But when I'm trying to provide a service, I'll actually tell the advantages of it. For example, if I'm using a particular SaaS tool, I can tell you that you will be saving your time by 50% of time. 50% of your time will be saved, and that's a good selling point for me, right? But if I'm buying a speaker and if I say that you're going to save 50% of your time or what, it doesn't make sense, right? And you tell them that you will get the best output, the audio is so good that you'll enjoy like a theater more, right? So that's how it different. Like for a product, I want to talk more about its features, and for the service, I want to talk about how is it going to impact your life.
Alright.
Is it going to reduce your time span? Is it going to get more outputs, etc.?
So have you worked on any of these campaigns? Can you tell us more about that? Similar campaigns if you want.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you, right? So right now I'm working at Dezerv, which is into wealth management, right? Now wealth management is again a service. It's not a product. Right? We want to tell you why should you invest money with the Dezerv, because we have the investment experts who have managed 50,000 CR, etc. Right? So we want to tell them that we are selling this product, but people don't buy it immediately, because if someone has to invest 1 CR with us, it's very difficult.
It has to be very.
So what we are trying to do is we created a product called Wealth Monitor, which is like a upskill where we try to give a free product to them. They will use the product, understand that we are the expert who are giving us good insights into the portfolio, and they are coming to us and saying that, hey, I understand you have better knowledge and you are better at managing my money, and please take my money and provide the service, right?
No, that's, say if I have a service,
okay,
and I want to reach the end user, I know what my target audience is,
right?
But how do I reach there? Like what are the best practices I'm going to follow for the campaign?
So I mean, kind of same thing that we told before. First, you need to narrow down to your target audience, and then you look at the creatives, right? So the part with the creatives is that the first creative may not work with you actually. It actually takes 5-6 iterations.
And when we talk about the target audience, let's say there are tools at place that can easily tell us, okay, this is your target audience, this is how you find it.
Correct.
And for creatives, is there designers, product designers, let's say for example UI UX designers, are these people helping are these the stakeholders in some sense?
They're not stakeholders, but actually they're the creators. I mean, who help in creating these things, right? So the stakeholders would be your sales team or the marketing team who will be using these product, the output, right? Sure. So how it actually works is a marketing person comes with an idea and he discusses with the product team saying that whether it is feasible to do or not to do. Yes. And once they say it is a feasible thing to do, then they go with the product, go to the designers. And as you rightly told, there are product designers, there are UI UX designers, 2 different people. And then you talk to them saying that, hey, this is the product that we are offering and this is how I want to market to them, right? Okay. And this is my idea. Okay. Saying that, my idea is like, use this product so that 50% of your time is saved. Yes. This is the outcome that the user had to take away. Then the product designers put their creative hat and they come up with the ideas how it would be helpful, right? Oh. You can actually show a clock where you can divide it into 2 phases or 2 states, etc. So the designers actually do the creative work and they actually give up with the ads. And the thing that you need to remember as a marketer is definitely the first creative will not be going to work out. You need to do continuous A/B testing, and then only you'll be able to find out which is the right creative and what is the right messaging that is cooking with your audiences.
Right. For our audience, can you also tell us what exactly is A/B testing? I'm sure most people would like to know what exactly it is.
Sure. A/B testing is nothing but showing one variation of the ad or one variation of your website or any one variation of your product to some set of users, and showing the second variation of the product or the web page or the service to the other set of users. Once you show these, and when you have a substantial number of users who can tell you whether the product is good or bad, then you will take a decision saying that, okay, most of the people are saying that the variation 1 is good. So let me make sure that I show the variation 1 to all the users. That's A/B test in simple.
Yes. Thanks a lot, sir. That would help a lot of people, I'm sure. And let's also talk about the job roles that we have in this domain. Okay, so you being in the industry for more than a decade, you have seen it evolve all throughout. So how does one start today? Let's say if there is a college graduate or somebody who has already graduated, let's say working in a different domain, how do they come into this space?
Sure. In fact, in the last couple of years, there's a lot of demand for the performance marketing or the digital marketing that you can think of. And one of the major reasons is it doesn't require coding. Yes. And people don't want to code for one or the other reason. And they think that, this is one domain where I can easily get in and then get a job and be happy, right? But it's not entirely true. Yes, you will not be coding. Definitely, you need not think of how to solve a problem. But there are other aspects that you need to remember before you get into the digital marketing domain. Sure. So there are 3 skills that would require in digital marketing: logical thinking, analytical thinking, and creative thinking, right? unless you have at least one of these three skills, I don't think it will be easy for you to survive. You should have at least one of these three things, and then you get into digital marketing so that you will have a great life and good career, right? But today's world, unfortunately, everyone thinks they have all the three skills, and they think, okay, I'm not less than anyone. Why can't I get into this domain?
So how does one make sure? Let's say if you have just told the three things, so how does one make sure? Okay, let me just try out if I am good at any of these three things.
Right. So the thing is, it's difficult to assess yourself whether you have particular skill or not, and it's good that you have the confidence that you have good skill, and that's the right thing. Now, how do I? If I were that person, I would actually pick up a project and then try to work on the project. You need to hustle a little where you are doing your day-to-day job, and also you do this side job so that you can show some impact, or you can be differentiating yourself from the other people. Then I'd say testimony saying that, okay, I'm good at this particular thing and let me take this job. Because there are a lot of courses and there are a lot of videos, a lot of subjects over there who are teaching you digital marketing. It's easy for anyone to learn.
Yes.
And that's good. You should have that awareness because the future is all about digital. The traditional market is going today. Right?
But the credibility has to come from a project.
Right. And you'll get that confidence also once you do a live project.
Yes.
And it's not very difficult to get a live project. That's one of the most sort of questions that I get asked usually. But it's not difficult to get
what kind of projects one can go for normally?
So there are 2-3 ways, right? One, you can actually create your own website and do your experiments, right? You want to write a blog, you create your website and you can run a blog. And everything comes for free. You have Blogger, WordPress, etc.
Okay, can you also tell the people like how they can start a project?
Right. So if you want to start your digital marketing career, right, do some experiments with yourself or work for a startup. Probably you may have to work for free for a while, which is okay because you want to show that you are good at digital marketing. And unless you show that you are good at digital marketing, it's difficult. Now, how do you do it? If you want to experiment on your own website, you go to WordPress, Blogger or Mix or whatever Web 2.0 website, create your own website, start putting content. Try to write articles, try to rank your own website, try to run ads on your own website. That will make you understand, how is this domain and can you survive or not, and what additional things are you getting so that you will be having a differentiating value and people will love to work with you.
Alright. So, sir, do you think it's an easy way for somebody, let's say, who has some sort of technical expertise, like you being an engineer, was it easy for you to transition into this role?
It definitely adds a lot of value if you're having technical background. In fact, I do both product work also and SEO work also in my company, right? I'm the PM of my own projects. I don't have someone else to do that. And because of that, what happens is my company also is happy because they don't have to hire one more person, right? And second, it gives me a better grip on what I want to show an output, right? I can actually work with the developers day in, day out and make them understand, this is what I'm trying to see. And I can assess the output in between instead of waiting till the end. So having technical abilities will definitely help you, and that has given me it has given me a substantial benefit in my career. And I would actually urge people to learn product management along with the digital marketing skills if you want to do well in your career.
So, sir, on a lighter note, let's say during a campaign something does not work out.
Right.
So how do you or let's say somebody of your stature would go on about it?
See, two things, right? One, the campaign doesn't work. There could be three reasons actually. One, the creative itself is bad, that people are not understanding what are you talking about. Yes. So you need to think of why the creative is not working. And to know whether it is working or not working, you have few benchmarks on CTR, VTR, like view through rate, etc. Right? If your numbers are below the benchmarks of the industry, then you can easily say that creatives are the one which is making the campaign bad, right? Okay. The second one would be audience, right? If you have good CTR, which is like 0.5% or 1%, but still if you're not
a good CTR is 0.5%.
Yeah, it depends on the campaign, right? If you're working on the finance industry, right, it will be less, right? If you're working on the e-commerce, then it will be more, right? Because it depends on the audience that you're trying, or product that you're trying to sell.
Sure. So what kind of products generally sell more in the CTR range?
See, if you have any apparels or e-commerce business, they have high CTRs usually.
Goes somewhere around 20-25.
No, nothing goes to 20-25%. So maximum they go will be 5%, 6%.
Right? That's quite
low.
That's challenging, yes.
But that's how the industry is, right? Sure. Right.
You're talking about the three things, yes.
The first one would be campaigns the creatives, whether they're good or bad, right? Yes. The second one would be, is your audience right or not, right? That will be knowing when you have a proper CTR, VTR, other benchmark, right? Yes. If you're having good CTR, VTR, but you're not getting the right revenue or the leads that you're expecting from the campaign, then the audience are not the right audience.
Okay.
You probably have to target different age, different area, etc. Right? That is the second one.
Maybe the research hasn't been
Right.
correct.
You need to rework on your TG, do persona evaluation again, and then come back with that.
User persona also plays a lot.
Exactly. Using the user persona only, you will create the TG, right? Right. That you will find the age, married status, etc., etc. Right?
Alright.
And the third one would be the bidding could be a problem. For example, right now we are having a Big Billion Day and Amazon Great Indian Festival, right?
Yeah, around this time I think it's going to be live in some time.
Correct. Within 1 week it's going to live, right? Now they are spending huge money that even if you have good creative and if they're having the right audience, your ad will not be shown to them because they are spending probably 10x and what you are spending, right? So at that time, unfortunately, your ad won't work.
So around this time the campaign we could just play a little low.
Exactly. It's
Because
better to
other
play a low
people are
ball game
playing
now.
a lot.
Exactly.
Okay.
Let the Great Indian Festival or the Big Billion Day complete.
Run their ads.
Right. Let them finish and then you can have your better time.
Oh, that's quite an insight actually.
Because I'm in the industry.
Yeah, definitely, sir. So let's talk about more into the job roles that people get to choose from
Right.
in this industry, digital space, not just performance marketing.
Right.
So can you tell us more about these roles that people can
Sure.
go for?
See, in my honest opinion, I think anyone who want to do well in digital marketing should have a T-shaped understanding, right?
All right, T-shaped understanding.
Right. Or T-shaped knowledge, right? What that means is you should have a horizontal understanding or you should have an understanding of all the verticals within the digital marketing. That could be SEO, SEM, email marketing, affiliate marketing, content marketing, influencer marketing, UAC, etc. You should have a basic understanding and a good amount of knowledge on what is happening, how it is happening. And apart from that, you should have a deeper understanding in at least one of these verticals.
Oh,
That's how I call it as T-shaped knowledge, right? You should have a good understanding on everything, but best understanding of at least one vertical. Otherwise, you will not be able to grow a lot in your career. You will be stuck at mid-level or whatever at one place, right? No,
so when we talk about basic understanding, is it have to be surface level or some sort of work?
No, you should have, if at all there are 3 buckets, like 33%, 67%, 100%, you should be at least having the 33% range. That percent of understanding should be there. And coming to the career progression, I think everyone will start like a lower level, like analyst or campaign manager, etc. After a while, they will be getting into a strategic role where you have people who can work for you or who can implement the things. In fact, you can actually outsource everything to an agency who outsource all your work to an agency. They does the work for you. You only have to evaluate whether things are going well or
correct,
right. And then you need to tell them, hey guys, this is not going well. This is something you're doing good. Double down on it, right? And the third one would be you'll be heading entire digital marketing, right? Where you have multiple verticals under you. You need to think more of the revenue or the business more than how to run the particular vertical. I think that's how the career will be progressed for a user.
Talking about the specific roles. Okay. So in performance marketing, since you're a head,
right?
So let's say an entry level person would get what kind of role?
He'll get an SEO analyst or SEM analyst or content writer, etc.
And when they move ahead,
they'll become a lead. Right? They'll have 1 or 2 persons under them who will be working for them. Of course, this guy is the one who has to help these people. He has to think of the campaigns, how they need to be structured, and when these campaigns should be run, and what is the thought process, and how do we impact the business.
Right. And let's say if being a SEO analyst,
okay,
if I find some revelations about some campaign and I help the business grow,
right?
Can I jump 2 places? No, does that work in the industry?
It doesn't work like that. Probably if you found something good, you will be getting an appreciation, or you probably will get a wow or on-spot award, but you won't jump in your career. Right? The only way you can progress in your career is improving the business revenue. That's the ultimate thing. If you can grow the business by 10% by your effort, that's awesome. You can go for a promotion.
So let's say if I am an analyst, my core objective should be the business has to grow, even if I'm writing a very short, deliverable. My objective should be it should help the business in some way or the other.
Exactly. So any work or every work that you are doing should be tied back to the North Star, we call it, or you can think of revenue as a North Star for most of the companies, right? It should impact. I'll give a couple of examples so that it might help you better. If you're writing an article, right, it will not have a direct impact on your revenue, right? But if you're able to create an infographic out of it, and if you are able to use that infographic and share it with your target audience, then they'll recall that, hey, okay, this particular brand is available and they are actually selling this product or service, and then they'll come to your website and buy your product or service, right? So there you're not actually directly impacting, but you're actually influencing the user's behavior. And now, as an analyst, if you stop only at writing the content, you will not grow. You need to think, saying that, okay, how can I make it more measurable, or how can I make it more shareable, or how can I make it more influencing for the user of my target audience and make them purchase my product. So you should have that mindset. You may not be able to influence immediately, but at least indirectly you should be part of the journey.
All right. So you being a head of the operation, head of performance marketing, what is your favorite metric when you're evaluating a campaign?
So it's always ROI because at the end of the day, I'm taking money from the company and I have to give it back. And definitely it should be positive ROI. So that will be my single metrics if you ask me.
It's only money.
Making revenue for the company.
All right, definitely. So on a lighter note, can you also tell us, our learners, or basically the audience, of what are the best practices if they're starting out? They can just follow and move into this business very smoothly, transition with an edge over the other people.
Right. So it again ties back to the same 3 skills that I will talk to you about. Improve your skills either in analyticals or logical or creative, because at the end of the day, you are going to compete with other SEO people or other SEM people or other content marketers. And if you want to get an edge, you need to show some proof, and that proof only comes once you have that skill set, right? So sharpen those skills, show a proof for that. It's okay even if they don't work well, but at least that ideation or the thought process is more important in today's world than the actual output, right? So if you want to outrank your peers in trying to get a job, take one step forward. For example, in SEO, go and do the audit of the website and tell them, why you see there are problems on the website and how you can solve those problems, right? Then people will think, the recruiter will think that, okay, this guy actually knows the knowledge, have the knowledge to skill it, right? Now, let's say you're trying to write article, or you want to be a content writer, or you want to be a designer. Create your own logos for the company, or create your own brochures, or create your own themes for the website, so that they understand that you're not only interested in your domain, but you also took time in understanding the business and helping the business. So take that one extra step where you add more value to the company, and recruiter will understand it.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for that. And since it is not talked about much because of the data science buzz and the cloud computing buzz,
right?
I'm pretty sure, since digital marketing space is directly affecting the business, ROI that you mentioned,
right?
Is it quite rewarding for the people who are involved?
Yes, it will be. Again, similar to any other company, the people who are at the helm will be having a higher ROI.
Yes.
Of course, they'll also be the first one to be sacked if the things don't work out. So it's both risky and rewarding. But I can tell you for sure that the digital marketers are paid well if you're having the right knowledge and if you're having that skill set to grow the company.
All right. So when we talk about being paid well, is it as much as what we hear about those numbers, the magic numbers that we hear in software engineering jobs or data scientist jobs?
So unfortunately, digital marketers are not paid as well as your product marketers or your tech team, the developers, right?
Yes,
for sure. So you can't compare. That's a hard reality.
Okay.
So for that reason, I ask you, if you can hone one more skill, that could be product management or analytical skills, then you will be able to reach to their level salaries.
Even more.
It could be more also, because you have multi skill set. The other person has only one skill set.
All right. So, sir, are there any more verticals that you would want to discuss in this?
Yes, we can talk about email marketing and affiliate marketing, which have become very famous into.
Aren't those two the same things?
They're similar, not same exactly.
Okay.
So email marketing is nothing but you sending mails from your own database and targeting the users, saying that, these are the products, these are the services that we have, and why do you want to purchase our ones, right? And affiliate marketing is also similar, sending the mails, but you will not be sending, but your affiliates or other websites or other app users will be sending on behalf of you.
All right. So, sir, I for me personally, like any of the cold emails that I get, I normally ignore.
Right.
So does this email and affiliate marketing actually help the businesses?
They help, I'll tell you, in 2 ways, right? One, don't see email marketing only as a medium of selling the product. Right. It's not a sales channel. So that's the first thing that you need to think of, right?
Okay.
So email marketing is more about being in continuous connection with your customers or with your users, right? So once you start in that direction, then you will not sell the sales emails, and that will not be boring that we are talking about, and you will not ignore them, right? But once you start adding value to the users and telling them why or what is happening around you, right? Then they'll love to read it. For example, I'm part of Dezerv, so I can tell you that. So in Dezerv, we send an email every Sunday, and people look after for that email. There we don't pitch anything about our product. We just say what is happening around in the finance industry and how it might be impacting you.
Maybe like a newsletter.
It's a newsletter. Yeah, that's right.
So, sir, when we talk about emails, and since let's say people are very afraid of getting scammed,
Correct.
You know, the phishing emails where they steal your data or something.
True, very true.
So, how does one make sure that my campaign does not create that sense of,
Right. So there are a few best practices that will help you users understand that, this is not a phishing email, but it's a genuine email.
Yes.
The first and foremost is the person who is sending it should be a known person or person connected with the business. Right.
Yes.
For example, a Dezerv we send one from my CEO's email and people know him, right? Yes. And the second thing is there should be face of the user ID or the email ID that you're sending with, right?
Yes.
Third, you should have signature, which will actually tell you or take you back to the social media profiles of your website.
Oh yes.
Or it will take you back to the website itself, etc. Right? And the last and most important thing is when you see the email itself, if you have too many links that point out to a non-official website, then it will be lost, right? And the fourth, see the email ID through which you are sending it, right? If at all you're sending it, your website is Flipkart, right? Make sure that your email ID is also having Flipkart in
the email,
right, name string in the email, so that people will understand it's a genuine one.
All right. So some best practices basically.
Yeah, those are the best practices that you can think of.
All right. So let's move on to the next segment where we talk about the projects that you must have worked on or that you found very exciting or eureka moments in your journeys.
Right.
Can we talk about those?
So I worked in multiple domains like fintech, which is BankBazaar, and right now at Dezerv. And I worked also in e-commerce segment, Flipkart, right? And worked in edtech like Apna and Urban Pro. And I also worked in Arvind Mills, which is like traditional business, right? Of all the companies that I worked with, right? I think marketing the products of Dezerv and Arvind Mills was the toughest. And the reason is very simple. These are not massive products. We don't have a lot of audience who will be buying these products. These are like products used by affluents or HNIs or ultra HNIs, right? And the number of users whom you can target is limited. So for me as a marketer, it's challenging and also it's very encouraging because I'm learning something new every time, right? So the two projects, if you ask me which I love most, I would be saying this. The first one is at Arvind Mills, where we started selling premium apparels, where one trouser cost you 6,000 and no one was ready to buy it, right? Because that's the story of 2014 and not even present day, where people are accustomed to buy luxury apparels, right? So initially we could not make any traction. So later what we tried was, this is not like a general e-commerce. People want a look and feel of it. So we started something called as home visit, where the style steward will visit your place and he will explain the product and then sell it. So we pivoted from a pure sales into lead generation, and the lead was given to the style steward, or you can call it Tyler in the local language. He would explain the things to the customer and he would sell the product, right? So that's a good pivot and that has helped us a lot. That's one of the interesting and challenging campaigns that I have worked with.
Did it bring the ROI?
Yeah, I definitely brought it. Otherwise, they would have shut it out immediately.
Yes. Right. All right. So, since you mentioned, the challenges that brands or anybody would face. So, we have these big giants, that can spend a humongous amount of money on campaigns.
Very true.
So, how does a small business or a small organization compete with organizations?
There are 2-3 techniques to which you can do, right? One, seasonality is the biggest thing I would call it.
Yes.
So do not try to compete with these giants in the seasonality. For example, as I was telling you, presently it is a seasonality where they have Big Billion Day, then Diwali sale, etc. And the second thing, don't compete at that time. Run a low ball game, bid only on your brand keywords or run only your brand campaigns so that the ROI is better over there. Don't compete for the generic audiences, right?
Yes.
And at times these giants take a break. For example, in the month of November and December, they do not spend a lot of money because they're already done their sales and they're happy with whatever sales that happened. So that is when you can double down on your campaigns and get the ROI, right?
Yes.
The second thing is all the important channels like Google, Meta are giving an option to buy the ads inventory upfront What that means is you'll be paying a fixed amount of money to these website advertiser like Google and Meta instead of competing in a real-time bidding. Just to give a context, there are two types of ad bidding. One is real-time bidding, where you need to bid more than your competitor so that your ad shows.
Okay.
And that gets very difficult in the seasonality. Like for example,
So when you say bidding, I'm sorry. When you say bidding, is it for a space?
It's particular, in the particular space. That could be for a particular keyword that the user is searching, or on a particular YouTube channel that the ad wants to be shown, or it could be Instagram account where you want to show your ad reels, right?
So if somebody is getting more retention, for example, or more viewers, we can actually bid for that space.
Correct, we can bid for space, right? Yes. And this is called real-time bidding. Let's say your Flipkart is bidding 100 rupees, you need to bid 101 rupees so that your ad will be shown, right? Okay. And they'll bid you 150, then you need to bid 151. So actually the ad cost increases tremendously. So do not play that fire game with them, right? It's better to leave that over there. The other way to do it is buy the ad inventory upfront, like 3 months back, upfront itself. You can say that I want to purchase these channels and I want to show my ad on these particular channels or on these accounts or for these keywords. Then you'll get it at a reasonable cost.
It's more of like booking the flight tickets.
Exactly, booking the flight tickets in advance. You can think of similar thing.
All right. So one more thing, sir. When I was going through your profile, I found a special keyword that I was actually not aware of.
Sure.
ASO.
Okay.
So can you talk about that?
Yeah, sure. I think with the advent of iOS store and the Play Store, apps become very famous.
Yes.
Now everyone wants an app because 80% of the users are on the mobile. Only 20% or 25% people are visiting the website, right? So now what that means is the target audience or your customers are on the mobile, not on the website or the desktop or the laptop that you're thinking of, right? So everyone started creating their app for their website. That could be Flipkart, ClearTrip, or Dezerv, BankBazaar, whatever you would like.
Brand. Every brand. Anybody.
Exactly. In fact, everyone should have an app for themselves. Otherwise, they're lost, right? So people started creating app. Now what happened is that also became competition where people wanted to show their app for the product that they are selling. For example, if someone is selling the flight tickets, they wanted to rank for the keyword like flights, and someone is searching on the Play Store or iOS store, right? So optimizing your apps to rank for the keywords that are searched on the Play Store or the iOS store is called App Store optimization.
I could rank for n number of keywords.
Yes, you can rank for any number of keywords if you are doing the right ASO.
Even if it's not relevant to what my app is all about?
You can rank, but the platforms are so intelligent that they will downgrade your rank after people uninstall your app for the particular keywords.
All right.
So App Store optimization is nothing but optimizing your apps either on the Play Store or on the iOS store so that your app shows up for the keywords that are relevant for your business, right? For example, if you're an owner of Make My Trip or if you're doing marketing for the Make My Trip, right? You want to show your app, like Make My Trip app, when someone searches for flight tickets or hotel bookings, right? So that's called App Store optimization. You can think it as synonymous to SEO that you do on the website, but you are doing the SEO for the apps on the Play Store or iOS store.
That's quite enlightening, sir. And let's also talk about the specifics that we want our learners to also know. You mentioned a live project,
right,
that they should be working on.
Right.
Can you guide us through the roadmap of this project?
Sure. I can give 2 examples, both paid and organic, so that whoever is taking the journey can relate to it, right? So let's take the organic, which is the easy thing to do, right? Go and start a blog. You have WordPress, Blogger, or Medium. Any website will allow you to create your own blog, and write content on that, right? Not only content, the content need not to be only textual content. It can be visual content. It can also be a video content, right? Put your creative hat. Try to give the best answer or try to explain the things in the most sophisticated manner and also add some USPs, right? That people will love to read and not skip it.
USPs for the learners,
unique selling points. USP is nothing but unique selling points where you are telling something different about that product or service that others are not telling, or giving your own perspective that others do not know about that.
All right. So when you say USPs for the projects, like how could it...
For example, I'll give you an example. Let's say this is the most common example that I give to people. Let's say you want to rank for a particular keyword called gold rate, right? Every other website is actually talking about what is the present gold rate in Bangalore, right? You can take one step forward and say that, hey, today's gold rate is 60,000. it is 10% more than the last year.
Oh.
And it is 50% more than the 5 years back, right? That is step 1. That's L1, I call it. Now go to L2, which is one level deeper. Say them that, hey, today if you buy the gold, you will buy it at 60,000. But in the December month, it's a off season. That time you usually get it 10% discount than what it is there in the September, October month. So you need to tell to the user saying that, hey, today's gold rate is this. But if you can wait for 2 more months, you can see a probable 10% less cost, yes. Right? So that's the insight that the user is looking for. He's not looking what exactly is the gold rate today, right? Because if you are trying to purchase a gold, you want to purchase it at the lowest cost. That's your objective. And if you do not solve that, then you not have USP.
Like if we add the value to
the user who is reading, then they'll always love you and they'll come back. And they'll share it also.
Yes. All right. So about this, after that, so a project should have a USP?
Right. So not the project, but whatever thing that you're explaining, have an USP for that. The project can be a very common project. For example, you are trying to create a flight booking website. That's a common project. But try to add something more to that. That Make My Trip is not having or the Clear Trip is not having. It could be a very small idea, but that particular idea will make you stand out. And that is one thing that will make your recruiter to look after you and hire you easily.
Could be a similar space. Let's say if I want to work for e-commerce with Giant or whatever.
Right.
So I would probably work or base my project around that so that I could understand how that works.
Right. I'll give one example how people are doing in today's world.
Yes.
So Flipkart I'll take an example of Flipkart because I work with them. It's easy to relate, right? So Flipkart is nothing but a website which sells multiple products. So take their product page, see what they are telling and what they are showing, and see if you can do it in a better way. Probably they are showing images on the left side and text on the right side. Try to put the text on the right side and put the image on the left side and see if it is working, right? There could be other experiments where you actually explain the product in a video and then show the images of the product, right? That's a different way of showing the products. Again, 90% of them will fail, and which is okay. Probably 10% will succeed, but the thought process is more important than the success and failure because you are still at the early stage and recruiters specifically want that thinking people.
All right. So you as a recruiter, let's say, what is your expectation from somebody who's trying to, come into your team, for example?
Which domain would it be? Performance marketing, SEO, paid
SEO,
marketing, or anything?
Any of these. I think you've worked on probably everything.
So actually, as I told you before, when a person is coming at entry level, I will look for the expertise in the vertical or deeper expertise that he is having
one of the verticals.
Right. Yes. He need not to have a horizontal experience or not having experience of other channels, which is okay for me. Right. So I try to understand how deeper does he know about this particular digital vertical. It could be SEO, SEM, email marketing, or influencer marketing. Doesn't matter. Right. I want to understand to what level does he know. And the second thing is how curious is he. Right. Because digital marketing is evolving every day and every day something new is coming, and unless you get yourself updated with that, unless you use them into your campaigns, you will not be able to succeed.
It's not going to be any
exactly, you will be left out, right? And you will fail eventually. So I will try to understand what is the curiosity level of this guy. I'll try to pose few questions that will help me understand when did he update his knowledge. For example, in SEO I'll ask him what is the latest algorithm that he has read. That will help me understand. Otherwise, I will ask him what are the latest channels where you can run your ads, right? Or what creatives are working for you. That's the other question that you can ask so that we'll get an understanding. What is his updated knowledge on the particular vertical? That's the second thing. And the third and most important thing for me would be sincerity. Because in today's world, anyone can say that they are expert, right? But if someone can tell me, okay, there are 5 things, but out of them I only know 2 things, I'm happy with that. It's okay that you don't know 5 things, but be sincere of what you know and what you don't know, because you can eventually learn it.
More of like an interpersonal skill that eventually everybody looks for.
But I look, okay, right.
Yes. I mean, that's a good skill to have. I think that's a pretty good skill.
Yeah, it's definitely.
I think everyone should have it.
Right, definitely. I think it's a non-negotiable thing for any role.
So any more wise words do you want to add for our learners?
Sure. I think there are 2 things that I would like to add. First and foremost, in the initial phase of your career, right, don't stick to one particular vertical, right? Try to work on as many verticals as possible. It's okay to work for long hours in the initial career to learn more things. Okay. It doesn't mean that you only have to work on SEO if you're an SEO analyst. Try to take care of content marketing. Try to take care of SEM and work, right? Try to take care of email marketing, because it's the age for you to learn. It's the age not to grow in your career immediately. Eventually, the position and the money will come. They will follow you. You need not to follow them, right? The first thing I would suggest you guys is please work on as many digital marketing aspects as possible in your early stage of career. Second, follow few people who are experts in these domain and also try to be in connect with them. I'm pretty sure if someone asks me a question about SEO, which is a genuine question, then I'll answer back, right? If you ask me what is the definition of SEO, I will not answer you. But if you ask me, hey, I did these 3 things for my website, but it did not work. Can you tell me what is wrong? And I'm happy to answer that, right? So follow some of the experts, and I'm sure most of them are good people, and they'll be happy to help you when you're stuck somewhere. These are the 2 suggestions I will give for the learners.
All right. So, sir, that was a very fun conversation and quite insightful. I'm sure
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yes, I'm sure our learners would be very happy. And
Sure.
thank you so much for coming on our podcast.
My pleasure and happy to see you.
Thank you, sir.